Once we have added, edited, and updated our lists so that they are current and ready to have mail sent to them, we can now go to MailPoet and the Newsletters submenu. Here, we will see a list of all newsletters that have been created, sent, or drafted up, but the first one we see is duplicate this template for all newsletter mailings. We never just want to create a new email because formatting will not be carried over from the proper IRA template. So here we click duplicate. We can choose the type of newsletter, whether it's a recurring automatic newsletter or one we're just going to send after we create it. We give a subject or title to the newsletter. And then we choose the lists we would like to send it to. We'll just keep it at all users for now. Next step. Here we actually design and edit the content of our newsletter. The header can stay stationary unless we are sending a special edition of the newsletter. Same thing with the spacers in between each section. As you see, when we hover over a section, we get some options so that we can change the alignment, we can link pictures and text, or we can just remove the image or section entirely. We can click and drag to rearrange sections. By removing a section, we see that everything automatically snaps together, and now I can put something new in that space. To enter a WordPress post or an existing article or news item, we simply drag the WordPress post item where we want to see it between these two spacers. And we will see a list of our posts available to be inserted into the newsletter. Here we can see some other options, whether we want to display a full post, only the title of the post, or just a small excerpt from the post. As you see, we can change other options about the inserted post. We can make headings larger or smaller. We can put the title in the same block as the article itself, or we can put it above the other content. You can play with these options to see what looks best to you. For now, we'll just use these selected options. And here we can see our newly inserted content. We have to be careful as some articles can make your newsletter very long, but this can be edited at your discretion. We can add other more standard options to your newsletter, such as social bookmarks, so that users can quickly get to social media pages for the association. And here we can put links so we can change it for each mailing if we would like. Change the icons so that they match that edition if we want something special for a particular mailing or topic. We can do custom text if we don't want to do an existing article, and here we would choose our font style, color, link, pretty standard options. The Images tab is just what it sounds like. We can use our WordPress media library to insert any images from the site or from your computer. We can also change our styling. Most of these options will probably stay the same, as they will dramatically change the look and feel of the newsletter. But you can relate the colors in the right sidebar to the colors on the left and use the headings to determine if you would like to change that particular text or color. For instance, we can see that the black Arial text is the standard body text. Themes we'll almost never touch, as we do use our IRA theme, and there are some other default themes. You can find some online, but mostly we should just ignore this section. Once we've completed editing and adding items to our newsletter mailing, we can send a preview to any specific email address to see exactly how it will look to a user, or we can click how spammy is this newsletter, which will let us in fact rate whether or not our newsletter will be determined as spam by a user's spam filter. Once it runs, we click view your score. A new tab will open. Here we see we've gotten a 4.7 out of 10. Gives us a verbal rating. And then we can view each option to see exactly where the problems are occurring. Here we see that we've included basically a lot of really poorly formatted text and images in our newsletter because I've randomly added items. We are sending from basically a test email address. So we can look through all of these. In most cases, you should have a pretty high score, a 6 or 7. If not, just review these items and it will eventually increase your score. You can refresh your score. So we'll want to make sure you have a high number so that you aren't reported as spam and eventually blocked from sending newsletters to your clients. Once that's done, you can save your changes, go to the next step, here we see we can make some final adjustments to the mailing itself. Change the name again if you'd like, review the lists we're sending it to. You can change the name and sender email. If we want to attach it to a Google Analytics campaign, you can put that here so that we can track with Google Analytics. You can schedule to send at a later date. Once we're done, you can send it or save it as a draft. And that's it.